Hey guys, Jay-Games here again. This is going to be what if Goku had Gohan's potential. Alright, in this what if, basically Goku's going to have the same kind of power as Gohan. And main reason for this what if is because I was watching a bit of Dragon Ball and I had seen a clip of basically Gohan, not clip, but part of the episode where Raditz was beating Goku. Gohan's power had spiked. I want to check Gohan's power level, and people estimate is between like 5 to 100 at most. Well, then when he's in rage, it spikes up. Gohan's power level had then reached Raditz's level, which I think is a big enough boost considering Goku can get angry a lot in the original Dragon Ball series, which would affect his power greatly. So yeah, I'm trying to set this what if off. Basically, when Goku would, I guess the first fight with Yamcha would be like where his power truly comes into play. At this point, Goku's already plenty strong, with his power level being exactly at 50. He had grown enough with Gohan already to become a good martial artist. And with that, as he fights Yamcha, Yamcha's Wolf-Fang Fist isn't doing anything. Yes, it's giving Goku like a few scratches, and that's really it. Nothing more than a few scratches, not even a bruise. Eventually, Goku is able to beat Yamcha after like 3-4 punches. Once Yamcha is down, Goku is the winner. Yamcha proceeds to travel with them for a bit, and they go through the whole Saiyan arc, the whole Gathering Dragon Ball arc, in the matter of around half the time. Because at halftime, with the Pilaf Gang, they didn't ever get their hands on a Dragon Ball. Goku was able to do everything else pretty fast. And pretty sure that whole trip took like, let me check this real quick. I'm pretty sure at first Goku was like 11, so around that time I assume Goku might have like been able to do it in at least a year originally, a year or two. So let's cut that down to around 8 months in total. By the time they got every single Dragon Ball, old Bulma didn't have a wish he wanted to make. She already dating Yamcha. Then Goku's wish was just, didn't really have a wish. And then they weren't like Oolong get the wish because they weren't in a dire Pilaf Gang. Goku could already use a bit of ki without realizing it, as he was just enhancing his body with it, just time by time again. And so he escaped the Pilaf Gang just through sheer power. As Goku began thinking, thought about Grandpa Gohan, immediately yelled up Shenron saying, "Tell me how my Grandpa Gohan died." Shenron then looked at Goku saying, "Are you sure you want to hear this?" Goku had said yes. Shenron began going over basically everything. Told Goku he was a Saiyan, how Saiyans turned into great apes, and how Goku, by the turn great apes looking at the moon, Goku somehow looked up at the moon, not somehow, but did look at the moon one night, turned into a great ape, and killed Grandpa Gohan. Now, everyone was a little bit shocked, and the conclusion that Goku was kind of messed up from this. Insanely messed up. Everyone suddenly realized that Goku's power began spiking. Bulma wasn't even a fighter and could feel the power emitting off Goku. That had a powerful and painful yell, making the ground beneath him crumble. His power level went from being around exactly 80 to shooting up to 1,800. Kami had realized that Goku, just with all this bit of rage, already surpassed him and Roshi, everyone on Earth. He's very impressed with this, and eventually when Goku kind of got over it for like a few weeks, just being calmed down, when he was Roshi, Kami was already there with Roshi. Goku was a little confused when Kami actually offered to train Goku, saying that Kami was the best fighter on Earth and the strongest, and he's also the god of Earth. Goku was a little conflicted about this, and then when Kami had said that he can promise Goku enough power and control over his Saiyan power. Goku agreed to this, and he agreed to this, was probably up here around Goku, tearing off his tail. Goku almost passed out, but Kami's able to shoot him with ki, shoot him up with like the energy with ki and everything, and Goku's power was able to just wake him back up, he's like, oh, my tail's gone. Kami had said he doesn't know how to teach Goku how to control a great ape, but he can teach him how to just control ever-growing power that he would have as a Saiyan, the unlimited power he'd have. As he does so, Goku, Saiyans have the most potential out of any race on Earth, besides like deities. So yeah. Now Goku trained Kami for around a year and a half, until eventually Roshi would mention Krillin to Kami, and she asked if Krillin could come up there with a lookout. And now Kami agrees to this, saying Krillin is kind of as Roshi's student, so he agrees to train him. As they begin training, Krillin kind of saw Goku as an elite fighter, the elite of the elite. Eventually, Yamcha went to Roshi for training, and Roshi most definitely did not recommend him to Kami, Just really Krillin and Goku. But he did actually let them see up there. And the reason he was not welcomed as a possible warrior is because, well, he lived a life of crime and like evil before, which Kami did not approve of. Now with that, should I mention that Goku's just an alien, they know nothing about him or his race. But Kami then says, Saiyans are usually a very, very brutal race. Well, you can see that Goku's race is human, which did take out that whole nature about him. So Goku was not raised as a Saiyan, just didn't know anything about them, so Goku does not count. So Yamcha was kind of disgraced from it. But he was allowed to actually just watch the training and then take some notes, which Yamcha does do. Now, the Red Army is handled by Goku pretty easily by Kami. Kami just asks him, oh yeah, just destroy the Red Army, they're plague on this earth. Goku just shoots out a big ki blast, destroying the whole base. Then, with more members of it, he's able to basically obliterate them himself with Tao Pai Pai. Goku's actually pretty easily able to defeat him. Like, as soon as Goku tosses him a ki, Tao Pai Pai tanks it, which leads to Goku just appearing behind him and punching him in the back full force, breaking his spine, like every single inch of it with that sheer power. And Goku only hit him in the center. So Tao Pai Pai hit the ground dead. Goku didn't really care, but Bora and Uppo were safe, because that's where Tao Pai Pai and Goku fought, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so after finishing his training with Kami, eventually, on King Piccolo arc, beginning, he would actually just start training with Korin, like with water. There's that training. Goku, when he's in excruciating pain, every single inch of the challenges, he doesn't really care. Mr. Popo put him in more pain, and besides, his power level is at around 300 exactly. He doesn't really care about much. Now when I meet Tien, and Tien means hitting Goku. Goku fakes like it hurts. Eventually, Tien, halfway through the fight, realizes that he's not even hitting Goku. Each time Tien would go for a punch, Goku just moves the slightest inch. And Tien can't really feel anything. He just realized that he wasn't feeling anything. Just Goku's acting on being hit was good enough to trick Tien. With that, Tien then yelled at Goku, "Stop faking like I'm hitting you, I'm not touching you." Goku chuckled, saying, "Alright, figure it out. But you're already tired, so I win." Now, this is just one of the tricks Mr. Popo had taught Goku, alongside just learning different martial arts. Including the Drunken Fist. He already had turtle style. Then whatever martial art he learned from Kami. Kami also was able to get knowledge on Saiyan martial arts, so Goku does know that. And then Goku would just have the basics of Drunken Fist, Karate, Kung Fu, and Taekwondo. So there's more sorts that Goku would know. Now eventually, Tien would try to close the distance on Goku, just in anger, trying to actually end a hit. Goku would just put his hand up to Tien's chest and say 0-inch punch. Only Tien sent flying in the air with Goku's fist closed, and Tien was coughing up blood once he landed. And Kami looked at Roshi, as Kami was in a human vessel, and he just whispered, "I turned Goku into the ultimate fighter. I want him to be Kami after me." Roshi chuckled, saying he didn't even know how old he was. They didn't even know how old he was until about 10 years. He's not the best recommendation for Kami, and plus he has no interest in anything else but fighting. And we may have had him longer, but I know him better. And Goku was able to hear this when he looked at Roshi, saying, Yeah, Roshi's right. Plus, Kami requires having a lot of intelligence, right? I'm not too intelligent myself, but I'm strong enough to protect the Earth. So maybe whoever the next Kami is, I could be like their Mr. Popo, their ally, assistant, whatever you want. And that's when Kami would assign a new role to Goku. The bodyguard of Kami. He taps his staff on the ground. Well, first this after the tournament, they're all together. He taps his staff on the ground and makes Goku just get his gi repaired and everything. And his blue shirt is now mainly just kind of a skin tight muscle shirt, I guess, and it's a long sleeve one. And the back of Goku's gi, on the outside would say Kami, and then on top of it, just above the circle, would just say bodyguard. Goku's okay with this. And then, basically, when Tambourine would go to kill Krillin and Tambourine fight, and it's basically just a fight of equals. Basically, Krillin would walk out, being the victor, as he was able to just have more stamina. So when he walked over to Goku, Kami actually healed Krillin, saying, "Who did this to you?" When he saw Tambourine rush right at him. But Kami, with no effort, was able to just chop Tambourine in the neck, kind of cutting his head completely off. And Goku, he had the basics of sensing ki. He was able to find where King Piccolo was, and he could fly as well. And he's already pissed off. Goku had walked out, began flying in the air, straight towards King Piccolo, as he was just very upset at what King Piccolo did to Krillin. As soon as Goku had yelled, "You're gonna pay for what you did to my friend," the power went from around 350 to exactly 2,900. And he shot down towards Piccolo. Piccolo and the other Dark Pulse flew up at Goku, but Goku's just sheer force around, the wind around him, plus just sheer speed, blew apart every single Dark Soul, and he punched off half of Piccolo's body. With that, Kami almost felt like he was dying until an egg was spit out, and he was recovered. Goku landed, grabbing Piccolo's body, and blowing it to pieces. Well, pieces are just kind of incinerating it. Goku powered down, and just says, "Wow, that was a lot of power." Kami had mentioned that Goku that was like part of his unlimited power. Now, with that, Goku would go to Kami's Lookout again and be in training. As he keeps on training, well, first off, he does get he is reminded that he has to get married Chi-Chi soon, and because Kami was just going over everything just while they're hanging out, and Goku with that, him his way down, and she married Chi-Chi during this time, which usually leads to Goku being around 19 by the end of it. So when Goku's around 18, him and Chi-Chi do the thing, and then they have Gohan. So by the time the Piccolo arc starts, Goku will actually be walking over to the entrance, and everyone has seen Goku for a long time. Krillin stopped training with Kami and everything. On the entrance of it, they see Goku. Well, first they see a woman with a baby, but then they see a man beside her. That looks kind of recognizable. So he kicks off gets his towel turban, takes it off, he shakes his hair out, and it's just Goku. Now turns to Goku asking how he's been, and Goku says he's been good, hanging out with his wife. He throws Goku to Chi-Chi, saying this is his wife Chi-Chi, and that's his son Gohan. Now to the side saying, he's younger than me, and he already has a wife and a kid. Krillin and Bulma and everyone else couldn't put their heads down, saying, "Tell me about it." Then Kami chuckles, saying, no worries, no worries. But yeah. Now in the tournament, Chi-Chi's not a participant because she has to take care of her son. But when Goku has to fight Piccolo, the fight Piccolo is being obliterated. As Goku's pet level is exactly 900, 980. What's that message? Oh, it was just my phone. It's a nice little battery. But yeah, so his power level is almost at 1,000, and he's obliterating Piccolo. Eventually, he's able to beat Piccolo, as Piccolo had gone all out even. His power level at its highest was 800, and that's my baby brother knocking at my door. But yeah, kind of thing, literally from the Dragon Ball, if you have more ki, you're probably practically the strongest. So, kind of how almost everything works. Piccolo's main techniques were tiring out Goku and injuring him, but by the end of it, Goku had a few cuts and bruises, nothing more. And Piccolo was barely hanging on to life. Goku threw a senzu bean in his mouth, and then put on a shirt, saying, "Alright, we're gonna leave now." Piccolo was left there for dead. Well, not for dead, but just his own defeat. And Piccolo realizing that he was beaten so easily by a fool who didn't even take him seriously. Piccolo being and almost crying. As Goku was wearing weight still, didn't take him off at all. Not even versus Tien, as well as with the whole battle with Tien, and when Tien landed a punch, Tien felt like his hand immediately broke. As Goku just headbutts Tien straight into the ground. That's what he did. He headbutted his Tien and knocked him out. Well, Goku didn't even take off his weights for anyone. But without his weights, his power level exactly equal to Raditz. But now when Goku and Raditz actually arrives. At this point, Gohan is around... check how Goku was from Gohan. Okay, so in this one, Gohan's like a year older. That's really it. So, yeah. So Gohan being a year older. Now, around the time that Goku would kind of reunite the Z Fighters so that they're not canon time, he's pregnant again with a new son. And Goku's 23 at this point, so that make Gohan 5 years old. And Gohan was actually raised around Kami a lot, because Goku does train with Kami constantly, and he does use hyperbolic time chamber from time to time. But no more than 8 hours exactly, so I think that's like a day to be like, I guess, 1 year. I assume it could be like certain hours could be weeks or months. Let me say 8 hours could be. Again, sorry. With my math probably being wrong, I'm gonna just estimate saying that 8 hours probably equal to at least 1 month. So with that, Goku would get a 1 month's worth of training, with at least like once every few months. So usually it's like a month ahead each time. With that, those few years, Goku would going to be, well, technically he'd be probably like 25 at most. Actually, no, probably still 24. Never mind, like 24 and a half. But so still chronologically he's 23, or at least genetically he's 23. Chronologically he'd be 24. Yeah, so when Raditz arrives, he'd feel the power and feel Piccolo first, with Piccolo's power level being at 700. That's exactly Piccolo's power level. There's Piccolo. Piccolo took off his weights, releasing Raditz here to fight, and his power level would jump to 900. So when Raditz began fighting, Raditz almost put on death's door, but he's able to shoot Piccolo through the chest with the death beam. Well, not death beam, but just a blast. I call almost every attack that might be fatal death beam. I don't know why, but I do. He shoots Piccolo through the chest, or thinks he does. Because Piccolo had fell to the ground. Reality just burned Piccolo pretty badly, and it was just pretty bad. It hurt a lot. That Raditz was able to just kind of sit there for a bit and recover before Piccolo woke up and left. Now, when Raditz did leave, they went there. Goku went to check on Piccolo, feeling his power just feeling very low, but Kami seemed perfectly healthy. Piccolo realized he was just hurt pretty badly, and was able to get Centipede from Krillin and put it in Piccolo's mouth. Piccolo ate it and was fully recovered, and just told everyone what happened. Goku looked at Piccolo, saying, "Do you think we need to team up and beat him?" Piccolo says, "I think a flick from me would kill him." So it's probably exactly, with the time chamber helping, the power level is exactly 5,000 with weights. Without weights, his power level would go to be around 7,000. So yeah, and Raditz, when he just recovers, his power level jumped from like the 1,100 or 1,200 to being around 3,000. So yeah. Now, when Goku was just waiting for Raditz to appear again or sense him, Raditz to be able to scan for more power levels and find Goku's, as he would say, this one's surpassing Nappa. Now, he says that's Kakarot, and he's already stronger than Nappa and you. So just go test out his power so I can beat him when I go to retrieve him. Raditz reluctantly agrees. He goes to fly towards Goku. The moment he realizes that he's flying towards Goku, he then sees Goku appear right above him with Gohan on his back. Goku punch Raditz to the water. Raditz will fly back up and tackle Goku, realizing that Goku didn't budge an inch. And everyone can notice one thing, if you're at least knowing that Goku wears weights. Well, it's only his gi. No wristbands, no undershirt, no shoes. He's not weighed down at all. Raditz isn't going to phase him. And we go to Goku's son, who's probably exactly 2,900. Gohan flew back, elbowing Raditz right in the jaw, breaking it, sending him flying back. Goku had caught Raditz, saying, You beat a Piccolo. You have any reason for that?" Raditz immediately started going on the thing like, "I'm your brother, you can't kill me, you wouldn't kill me." Goku said, "Well, Krillin is more my brother. Well, even if you were my brother, I don't like Saiyans. They're horrible people." And Vegeta kind of scoffs, saying, "He thinks he's better than us." Goku had heard the voice from a scouter, picked it up, off Raditz' head, put it on, saying, "Nope, I know I am, because I save people while you guys just ruin people's lives permanently." Then broke the scouter, and then punched Raditz in the face, and him flying all the way up in the atmosphere. Gohan, who had learned how to use a bit of ki on his mouth, tried to ki blast, flying straight at Raditz, but he used to blow up the planet, trying to scare Goku. Then when his blast fired down, Gohan's blast obliterated it, and blew Raditz in half. That Raditz's body shot high up in the atmosphere, being lost to space. Goku had given the remains of the scouter to Bulma, saying, "There's a communicator in here somewhere. You can take that part out." Bulma was able to find it immediately, gives it to Goku, he breaks it, and she re-engineers the scouter to her own desire. She begins making scouters differently, and is able to make them scan power a lot better than Frieza Force, to the point where power can even measure up to Super Saiyan Goku. Original Super Saiyan Goku. So yeah, with that, Goku welcome Tien, Krillin, Piccolo, and Raditz. Not Raditz. So Goku welcomes Tien, Gohan, Piccolo, and Krillin to the time chamber. Yamcha doesn't really have to focus on fighting anymore. He's famous. He's a baseball player. He's his thing. So, yeah, but Yamcha does occasionally train with Kami from time to time, and he does get decently stronger. Yeah, so King Kai was actually the one notifying them. He notified Kami, and Kami had notified Z fighters. Now, when they awake the Z fighters, not Z fighters, when they awake the Saiyans that are coming towards them, the moment Nappa lands and he goes to destroy the city, he realizes his arm is getting broken immediately. Because the moment he charged up the blast, Gohan appeared not behind him, and next to his arm, twisting it like right around, making the blast fly straight up in the sky, as Nappa would look at his very, very badly broken hand. Or not hand, but arm. And he's panicking, saying, "Vegeta, what the hell was that?" Vegeta looked at Nappa, saying, "A child." That's when Nappa would say, "Kakarot?" Vegeta says, "No, you idiot. Kakarot's a grown man." Goku appeared in front of him, saying, "Oh, who the hell is Kakarot?" Isn't Goku even thinking, saying, "Oh yeah, right told me that." And punches Vegeta in the gut, and Vegeta would admit it packed a punch. Vegeta almost felt like throwing up, but was able to keep his stature, saying, "Damn it." As he shook his head, saying, "Is that all you got, Kakarot?" As Goku's power exactly is 12,000. We're all suppressed and wearing weights. While Goku had taken his weights off and everything, and then expressed his power level being almost equal to Vegeta. Vegeta's at 17, let's say Vegeta's actually at 19,000, he trained a bit. Goku would be at 18,000. Goku had taken Vegeta in the chest and flying in the air, and he shot up as high as he can, punching at Vegeta. Seeing Vegeta being fighting, it's a battle between equals. Goku's superior martial arts, plus a mixture of same martial arts, knowing the weaknesses, and every single counter to it. Vegeta's getting the hell beat out of him. Eventually, slowly and surely, he's getting the hell beat out of him. Eventually, Goku, knowing the weakness of a Saiyan is his tail, he's able to do the zero into punch from Vegeta, which is his strongest move currently, and that isn't key. With that, Vegeta's Saiyan armor is severely destroyed, and he's shot right in the air. Goku just grabbed his tail, tear it off. That made Vegeta pass out through sheer pain and being upset. Just pain and panicking. Just every single negative emotion made Vegeta overwhelmed and pass out. Nappa was being beaten up by a 6-year-old. Eventually, now Nappa is screaming for help from Vegeta, saying he's going to get killed. The Gohan's power level was equal to Nappa. Exactly. Now Nappa didn't train, thinking he was strong enough. So he didn't sense Raditz' power level being 3,000, not realizing Raditz was equal to him, or almost equal to him. So it wasn't going too well for Nappa anyway. So yeah. Eventually Gohan would knock Nappa unconscious after breaking almost every single bone in his body. All the two fighters are like, we weren't needed here. And I'm pretty sure just these two could have handled it. Goku appears in front of Gohan, holding Vegeta by the hair, and Vegeta has a very angry expression on his face while being passed out even. Goku picks up Nappa and begins dragging Vegeta away, and was able to make restraint for them at Capsule Corp. When they're restrained, and they're getting interrogated on why they came to Earth anyway. Vegeta goes to threat Frieza, and Bulma can declare he's not lying by using a very accurate lie detector. So Goku would ask why you would help them anyway, and this is when Gohan would say, "Yeah, why should we? You try to blow up the city." That's when Vegeta yelled, "That's nothing to what Frieza does. He blows up planets like you're nothing, like he did Planet Vegeta." And Bulma had said, they're not lying. So Vegeta and Nappa just tell truth after truth, until it says that, well, once they help, once the Saiyans, not once the Saiyans, but once Kakarot helps them destroy Frieza and the Empire, he'll leave them alone. That was where the lie was. Goku, off response, was almost ready to kill Vegeta, saying you're going to kill us once we help you defeat Frieza. Vegeta said no, and he lied again. Nappa yelled, saying, Vegeta, there's no point, just tell the truth. Vegeta had yelled, saying, "I'll kill all you bastards after Frieza's dead. You're all beneath me. I'm the Prince of all Saiyans." Goku had knelt down, saying, "Well, technically, I guess I could be called a king on Earth. So, I outrank you." As Goku had realized, well, not realized, but in that moment, he's married to the Ox King's daughter. Ox King doesn't really... I have to pause real quick. Okay, so Goku just released Vegeta, and Vegeta immediately rushed at him trying to fight, as he had gotten a Zenkai boost. Goku was able to dodge all his attacks, as he pointed out that Vegeta's fighting style, he has the same fighting style as Vegeta, and Vegeta's fighting style has so many flaws. or at least flaws that he can expose. Yes, he may be stronger physically, faster, to turn into a great ape, while Goku just knows every single weakness in his fighting style. It's pointless. Actually, Vegeta is just still outmatched, and Goku just told Nappa that if he even tries to escape, his son can beat him again. As yes, then Nappa got his Zenkai boost, getting his power level to 7,000, but Gohan prefers training over studying a lot. So he just trains constantly, plus grows insanely fast. Him and Nappa are equal still. Although eventually Vegeta can't accept that someone can outmatch him, just through Vegeta's fighting style being absolute, complete garbage. And Goku would also struggle, saying, well, one, I'm a king, because, well, he realized that Oxing isn't really a king anymore, and Goku married his daughter, who's a princess. By default, Chi-Chi's a queen, Goku's a king. And Goku did mention that to Vegeta, and Vegeta had realized Goku does actually outrank him. Even though Goku only rules over a small part, so he's still a king. Vegeta's still upset, and Goku mentioned he knows multiple martial arts, plus he's the bodyguard of God himself. There's no point in fighting him. He's an elite fighter, the elite of the elite. Eventually, Vegeta mentioned the Ginyu Force, and Goku began saying, alright, tell me about the strongest fighters, and I could probably think of a plan, or at least Gohan can, because he thinks of the most plans that have happened recently. So Vegeta goes over everything like Ginyu Force, starting with Midoriya, at least the upper echelon of Frieza's fighters, and Frieza himself and Cooler and King Cold. Goku began thinking, as Goku had said, it seems like these Zarbon and Midoriya are Frieza's bodyguards, but Ginyu Force are stronger than them, right? So basically Zarbon and Midoriya are the weakest ones, but the Ginyu Force are Zarbon and Midoriya are the weakest ones, but they're Frieza's bodyguards, while the Ginyu Force are stronger, right? She had nodded. That's when Gohan says, how about this? You'll find the Ginyu Force to take them down first. And that's when Goku had said, plus they actually provide pretty good training, and I can get in touch with outer space. Bulma had said, well, first, I built a gravity chamber, because Kami was able to tell me about planet Vegeta. It's 10 times normal gravity, so training this first. Who had walked in and almost fell to one knee. Well, there's a lot of gravity here. But suddenly, Kami would appear saying, actually, Bulma, Goku and Vegeta are taken somewhere else. Z fighters can train in here. They look confused until Goku and Vegeta Dragon Balls, and that's when Kami says, say you wish to go to King Kai's planet. Goku said them Dragon Balls, and they're sent to King Kai's planet. At least sent to Snake Bridge, and then they have to run there. Or, well, Vegeta flies, Goku just runs as fast as possible, and Vegeta gets there in around, let's say, 1 day, Goku gets there in 3. As Goku got in there, and King Kai asked why Goku didn't fly, and Goku explains he was just testing his stamina. And he says that he didn't start running even once, he just kept running full sprint. King Kai chuckles, saying, impressive. He says he looks at Vegeta, saying, cheater. But yeah, so King Kai would just explain his training, and they do it. Because Goku, with gravity, he was taking time getting used to it on King Kai's planet. But still, he got used to it pretty fast and kept training. Eventually, as they finished training, Bulma was able to build a spaceship during that time. Z fighters had to use gravity chamber, Gohan being the strongest, getting a power level of 14,000. Goku and Vegeta, during these few days, let's say it's been 20 days. At that time, Goku's power level had risen to be around 500,000, surpassing Ginyu, easily. And Goku was able to just boost up his power, as he's able to get his body to a better extent, to make his body shoot up on adrenaline and rage boost, without even being angry. So with that, Goku's power level had jumped to a complete 1 million with that. Vegeta is able to do the same thing, but his power level is a lot weaker at being 100,000, and his power level jumping to 500,000 while being angry. So not as much as Goku. Well, he's equal to Goku's base form if he goes... No, he's not equal to Goku anyway. Goku's sheer martial arts just overwhelm him. But yeah, King Kai also got told by Kami to teach Goku multiple martial arts. So yeah, Goku also ended up getting Kaioken, but Vegeta takes Kaioken a lot more seriously, so he can go higher than Goku, which is where he outmatches Goku easily. And Vegeta also didn't grow back his tail, so yeah. Now, Goku and Vegeta. Goku actually runs back to the end of Snake Bridge, in the span of 2 hours. Vegeta flies there in the span of 1. Now they're turned back to the land of living, Kami's tower, and Goku and Kami nod as Piccolo go under there, as Piccolo explains that he's been turning Gohan up, plus educating him. Chi-Chi was on the lookout, saying that she's educating Gohan as well. But now they're ready to fly off into space, as the ship was better built, as they're able to use Dragon Balls to put it in human English and everything, and able to put it out to the point where it's more comfortable for them. That Vegeta had gotten the scouter and was able to calculate on one of the scouters that they shouldn't mess with yet, so with the Nappa scouter, and he was able to find out what Ginyu Force was without using without having a microphone on it. Just Bulma removed that immediately. But yeah, so when they find Ginyu Force, they travel towards them, with Nappa being fifth strongest, let's say that. Goku being elite, Vegeta being behind him, then Gohan, then Piccolo, then Nappa. Nappa's power level being exactly 9,000. Then we would have Piccolo being 10,000, Gohan being 15,000, Vegeta being 100,000, Goku being 500,000. Yeah, so they get the planet where Ginyu Force is, and they're busy eradicating it. As they step off the ship, Ginyu Force scouters had gone off, getting notified of the power, and Ginyu Scouter being able to send out Frieza. It would say that someone equal to Frieza has arrived. He notifies that, and they all think it's Lord Frieza as they arrive, but only seeing Goku, Vegeta, Nappa, Piccolo, Gohan, Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, and Bulma came along just for space research. So Ginyu immediately Vegeta saying, "Oh, it's little Vegeta." When Vegeta roared in anger, powering up, being thrown at Ginyu, and punching Ginyu halfway across the planet. Now Raccoon was in shock because that power was different. As Vegeta said, he's going to kill Ginyu and tear his heart out. He flew towards Ginyu, and Raccoon went to immediately blast at Vegeta, but Raccoon realized that his arm was broken again. But it was broken. And Gohan had kicked it full force. He broke Raccoon's arm as Raccoon would go for another punch, but Gohan just proceeds to rapidly punch Raccoon in the jaw. Well, not in the jaw, but straight in the chin, as fast as possible. Except doing that, Raccoon is almost knocked out just through sheer speed. His martial arts still can't count, unless it will do count, but Gohan is just more or less above him in martial art terms. That's really what the Sun family does, is they're just insane martial artists. Gohan's able to completely abuse Raccoon with martial arts, so eventually Raccoon's other arms able to get him, and he'll snap Gohan's neck. As to do that, Piccolo just is able to use Special Weapon Cannon and blow off Raccoon's good arm. That Raccoon being in shock, Gohan fires a blast through his chest, killing him. Now with Jace and all the other members of the Ginyu Force, they're pretty easily handled by Goku. As when they go in for attack, Goku appears behind them all, and they all fall to the ground with holes punched through their chest. And says that he doubts that, well, not doubts, but he's sure that Ginyu might have called for help as he senses other power levels coming. So just wait for them. They nod, and it was right after an hour. More fighters arrive from Frieza Force, and they begin battle with Gohan and his team. That's what he calls it, the Team Gohan. Goku would arrive with a battle between Ginyu and Vegeta, and Ginyu isn't able to land his mind transfer, and Vegeta's falling to just Ginyu's strength, who feels like he's equal to Kakarot. But eventually, as Goku about to intervene, Vegeta had yelled Kaioken times 2, and sheer power actually blew apart Ginyu. Ginyu fell to the ground dead. Goku's like, "Oh, I didn't need help. You need to power up." But he says, "No, I could have beaten him without Kaioken, but I just want to see what the shockwave would do to him. So that should have caught him off guard. But it killed him, which works too." Goku then holds up one finger towards the multitude of ships as he fires a blast from his finger, blowing apart every single ship nearby. With that, Gohan and his group are able to beat down on every single soldier, and they're eventually kind of just killed by the inhabitants of this planet. And Goku told Vegeta his new goal: that you go around the galaxy, undoing what Frieza had done. Vegeta says that it'll take decades, but Goku is willing to take it. So yeah. Now eventually with that, they get in their ship again, and they head towards basically where Vegeta assumes Cooler might be. And they're using the Ginyu Force's pods. And plus, before they left, I mentioned they gathered Dragon Balls. They're able to find the balls, the most trusted parts of Dragon Balls, and bring them on the ship. So yeah, now it's just flying in the galaxy. The Dragon Balls come back, but they're not going to use them yet. Now eventually, as like halfway through the trip, they're able to find the Uniforce, and they fly towards, not Uniforce I mean, where Cooler is, and they fly towards them. And on the planet, they got off the ship, and they kind of just hide the Dragon Balls. Now, eventually, when like Cooler does block them out, he trigger fight with Vegeta first, and he's a traitor. Notice that he does connect face with Vegeta. He does feel Vegeta's really strong, but then he's kicked through a rock, like Goku. Goku had said he didn't really get any action, and that was worthwhile in the last mission. It's his turn. He rushed at Cooler, assuming Cooler began fighting, and Cooler's overwhelming Goku. Eventually, Goku powers up to a pseudo rage boost, and his power jumps to 1 million. And Cooler keep fighting, assuming Cooler are now equals, until Cooler goes to his final form, whatever that looks like. As Cooler goes to his final form, Goku's now being completely abused, until eventually everyone else should step in, and they're beaten up too. Gohan, Vegeta, and Nappa try to step in again, but this leads to Vegeta, Nappa, and Gohan all being killed. Or he thinks that Nappa and Vegeta are killed, but in reality they're kind of just down. When Cooler had broken Vegeta's neck, making him not being able to move, he pushed a hole through Nappa, and Nappa's not dead yet, but he's dying, and he had actually blown apart Gohan. Goku being covered in the blood of his son, and it starts being very emotional. As when Cooler was about to snap Goku's neck got a little more muscular. He couldn't snap it. Goku grabbed his arm and tore it completely off. Cooler jumped back, being a little surprised and taken aback, until suddenly Goku just flies towards Cooler, grabbed him by the neck, and slamming him through rock, building, earth, not the earth, but the ground, whatever planet they're on. So eventually he says that he's going to make sure that Cooler has a nice rest in hell. He flies up in the sky as high as possible, and everyone noticed that Goku's hair was yellow. But they didn't really pay any mind to it. But Goku had a firm grasp on Cooler's neck and slammed through the earth using Cooler as like the shield, until eventually Cooler's body began basically being destroyed, and Goku eventually brought him to the center of the planet, and that disintegrated him. That Goku flew back out of that giant hole, and it's probably being greater than anything Frieza could have hoped for. Probably being, let's say, exactly. Let me fact check this real quick. So yeah, Goku's probably with the actual rage boost up to 8 million, plus just being very upset was 8 million, and then Goku had eventually had the Super Saiyan turn Super Saiyan, which would lead to him getting power level of 40 million. So he obliterated Cooler. Now with that, he powered down, and then Goku just said that they need to. First off, he has a plan. You guys are Dragon Balls, and his first wish actually to be able to breathe in outer space. They asked why he would need that, and he then says that, well, he can find Frieza a lot faster. It's just two different teams to search on. So they get that, and they get a message from Genkai saying that they're near a planet called Namek. Goku should go there with Piccolo and Gohan. Or at least Gohan should find some way to get there. If they're on, it's a civilized planet, so they're able to actually find a planet that can, let's say this planet is enough intelligence to build a decent space suit. They make that for Gohan, and then they leave. Everyone else taking the ship except for Piccolo, Goku, and Gohan. So Gohan is in the space suit, he's tethered to Goku, and they fly through space. Fly through space, they eventually get to Namek, they land. Namekians are a little nervous about this. They realize that Namekians with them, and Piccolo. And with that, they begin training, first off they meet Guru and everything, and Goku actually shares a lot of his ki with Guru. Piccolo is able to learn a technique to separate his evil and good side again, which shouldn't be able to happen, but it does. And that good side fuses with Guru, which does enhance his lifespan by a few decades, not a few centuries, but decades. That leaves evil Piccolo, which leaves Dragon Balls being used, and the reason they're here. When Dragon Balls used, they purify evil Piccolo, and he's turned back on just a pure good Piccolo, just with Piccolo-like attitude, just not evil. And yeah, now with this they keep on. The next wish, I'd say, would probably be just to share the location of Frieza and King Cold, two member of the Z fighters that's in space. With that does take up 2 wishes, because once he wants them to do two things: learn the location of King Cold and Cooler, which does add, not King Cold, King Cold and Frieza, which does add on job in Dodoria. That's already 1 wish, 1 big one. Anything to share the location, so that happens. Now they keep on training there, and as they train harder and harder, Goku is eventually able to say that they're probably able to get a new ship at some point using some Namekian technology, which they're able to do, get a new ship, and Gohan and Piccolo get sent off into space as Goku is sensing something really strong and key. Before Piccolo does leave, Guru and Nail fuse into him. Piccolo does somewhat get his good side back, making him even more purified, and he gets the knowledge of Guru, strength of Warrior Namekian, everything. Now with that, the Dragon Balls immediately disappear on planet Namek. Piccolo is able to make them appear again, and the wish is a lot more powerful. But you need to have a certain phrase. And he tells that to every village elder that he deems has a good heart. And he does say he's not the most Guru of Namek, but he makes the Guru this certain person. He doesn't have the power of his body, but gives him the knowledge of a Guru and the power. So yeah, so that person is able to control Dragon Balls again, and he's able to say that same phrase. Now Dende is also brought along the ship, as he does want to be with Piccolo and his big bro Nail. Now Goku, planet he's flying towards, will actually be planet Yardrat. He flies to Yardrat, he can get training there, and planet Frieza was a very far off place in the galaxy. It would taking them a little over a few months to get there. And they fly faster than light, so it took them, let's say, a few days to get to Namek. 3 days at most. Well, then Goku was just flying the Yardrat at faster speeds. So he gets to Yardrat in a matter of hours. He gets there, begins his training, and he's adapting insanely fast. This is my big brother. No, not actually at my door. Someone's at my door, but it's my baby brother. Goku would learn his transmission mainly, and then he'd also learn in transmission, in healing, and regeneration. Those are 3 techniques he's able to learn. He'll fly off into space again, because he does he still feels really odd key. He flies farther in the galaxy. He's flying far enough to the point where the gravity feels a lot heavier. In reality, it's just Goku running out of stamina in the middle of space. So he has to stop at a planet that he realizes was the planet he was sending key at. As he lands, he sits on the ground, and begins panting, saying, "Wow, this is refreshing." Pause real quick. At this point, I believe that Broly probably be around Vegeta's age, and Vegeta's at this point, Vegeta would be like 28, maybe. So, Broly's around that age. And yes, you guys can tell this is Yardrat. Oh, yeah, I mean, this is planet Vampa. You guys can tell, because odd key in the galaxy that either be Granola, the Heaters, or Broly. And Saiyans, well, not Saiyans, the Z Fighters stopped at a nearby planet to actually just get some training in. Goku did say he's taking some training breaks along the way. And as he's on the planet, some animals do try to attack him, but Goku was able to defeat them pretty easily. And yeah. Now with that, Goku would meet Paragus, as Paragus asks Goku how he got here. There's no ship around it or anything. And Goku explains he's a Saiyan, but he was sent off planet where he learned really level. He's kind of used his whole backstory to Paragus. Well, long backstory short. So originally it should have taken a few days or hours for Paragus to know everything about Goku. But Goku made it short for 20 minutes. So yeah, Paragus is able to cure everything and freeze the tyrant. And Goku does say him and Vegeta aren't friends, but he's helping Vegeta destroy the Frieza Force. That's really it. So, like an accomplice, really. Not an accomplice, but more like a temporary alliance to destroy the Frieza Force and purify the galaxy in some way. Paragus is okay with that, and he does introduce Goku to Broly, and Goku wants to fight Broly. That's when Broly began fighting. And Goku's actually able to overrun Broly to the point where Broly gets angry. When Paragus is about to kind of just tase Broly, Goku tears the collar off of Broly, and the fight continues. With that, Broly gets stronger than Goku, until Goku powers up Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan, well, it's actually at 1 billion now. Which, let me check my math quick. I should get this number right. Because power in base is 20 million. And that's me, I don't know why I said that. As Goku and Broly began fighting, Goku Goku's power level being at 1 billion. Eventually, he is able to knock out Broly before Broly had gone to legendary Super Saiyan form. This is really meaning the green blast from his mouth and everything started shaking the whole planet. Goku's able to give him a good punch to the gut, make him throw up and pass out. That Goku had said he won, and looked at Paragus grabbing the remote and breaking it, saying, "That's not a good way to reel in his power at all." But he had picked up Broly, saying he has a good planet for Broly to learn some inner peace. He had Paragus as he transmissions all the way to planet Yardrat. Now, Goku's kind of the supervisor for Broly's training, and anytime Broly get out of control, Goku Super Saiyan hits him in the back of the neck, knocking him out. So yeah. Hold up. Okay, so eventually, as Goku is able to have Broly learn how to control at least his Akari Wrath and tap into Super Saiyan somewhat. Like he can't go Super Saiyan for long. Like at best, it's like best is for like 5 minutes, and that's really it. Before Broly's just pissed off to the max. Yeah, so Broly's also it was kind of really able to learn his transmission only. That's because Goku not his transmission. Let's say healing. So if he's able to learn healing, that's really it. Healing and inner peace. Paragus kind of learned a spirit fission there, and it took them on a total of a month. Now, eventually, Goku would fly off faster into space, as he's able. Broly kind of in transmissions to where Goku is once he lands, and he lands to where some of the other Z fighters are. Once Broly and Paragus appear there, the Z fighters are happy to see Goku, and they're a little shocked to see Broly and Paragus. Now, Paragus is actually able to learn himself from inner peace and learn forgiveness, and not to blame Vegeta for his father's sins. He doesn't mention Vegeta that he does not like him at all, but say he can't blame Vegeta for his father's actions. And Vegeta's kind of shocked, because he did hear a story about Paragus being a very, not nice man. But Paragus seems that he was able to find some way to be kind. Broly introduced himself to everyone, as Broly and Gohan being a little more childish, because, Broly hasn't really been too educated on everything. And then Gohan being a quite literal child get along pretty well. Now on this planet, this leads to Vegeta sending their own planet, and they have met a group called the Heaters. Let's make sure this name is right. So as they met the Heaters just say they're enemies of the Frieza Force, and in reality they're not. And Vegeta does know this, just pretending he doesn't. And Elec would introduce himself as Elec, that's oil, that's Maki, that's gas. Now Gas recognizes Goku because he looks like Bardock. And with that, Piccolo does feel that something may go wrong. And he does actually tell Heaters to stay distant ways away because he doesn't trust Gas at all. Gas looks at Piccolo saying, do you have a problem? But suddenly Goku will appear behind Gas, grab him by the head, saying, no, we don't. But keep talking to my friend like that, and we will. Gas tries to pull Goku's hand off of them. Goku's power level keeps rising and rising through training, to the point where Goku's power level is at his peak right now. And Gas can't move Goku's hand a single inch. That Goku picked up Gas and slammed his face down repeatedly over and over until he threw Gas into a tree. Gas was kind of dazed until he shook his head and powered up again, flying at Goku. Goku had immediately felt the power and went Super Saiyan and began fighting Gas. As when Gas fight, eventually him and Gas can just realize that they're not really equals, but Gas is just faster. That's really it. I think Goku's just stronger and knows different martial arts. But it's hard to keep up with Gas to the point where Goku's pretty badly beaten. And Gas can't take much of Goku's pure brute force. So eventually with that, Goku eventually is announced the winner, and Vegeta reveals who the Heaters truly are. And with that, Granola does arrive. He arrives just to mainly kill them. Well, he did get notified from Elec, but he arrives. As Granola's about to sneakily kill one of the Saiyans, you hear Vegeta yell saying, "You damn Heaters, your allies of Frieza. You hired them to destroy multiple planets." And there's one planet you guys hired Frieza Force to kill. I forgot what it was. It was like something like it had the Ceruleans on you. Hired Frieza to take down that planet. Granola froze as his blast wasn't aimed on Vegeta or Paragus or Broly or Goku or Gohan. It turned to Elec. Now Elec immediately realized that Granola was there, so he shot right to the back multiple times. Now he aims his blast right at Goku again, but he then says he'll talk to the Saiyans later. He has business with the Heaters. They begin wailing down on Elec as hard as possible, And eventually gas, Maki, and oil get back up, going to attack Granola. But Nappa, Vegeta, and Gohan take them down. Piccolo is more or less gathering intel on nearby planets from the heaters, by just kind of reading their minds. Eventually, Granola gets what he wanted by beating the living hell out of Elec, almost killing him. Then, as soon as the gas will try to fight again, he's beaten down by Goku once more. Now, Goku then says that, well, he wasn't raised as a Saiyan. He goes over his whole backstory shortly, and then he goes over Broly and Paragus, saying Paragus was only one raised as a Saiyan, but well, Vegeta, Paragus, and Nappa were the ones raised as Saiyans. Tim, Broly, and Gohan were raised, him and Gohan were raised as humans. Broly was raised as kind of like a wild animal that can speak. So yeah, Paragus. We know that you can realize that they don't know anything about the Ceruleans. Well, only 3 of them do. Other 3 don't really know a single thing. Piccolo does say that they can go to the planet Cereal or something. What's the name of Granola's planet? So they had the planet Cereal. Goku, Broly, and Paragus gets instant transmission there by Paragus instant transmission. Broly learns healing. So Paragus instant transmission there with Broly, and so does Goku. They get there, everyone else is able to kind of just fly there with their ship. Piccolo can just breathe out of space, so he just flies there himself at insane speeds. And yeah. Now while there, the old Namekian man, I don't really look up his name real quick, I'm gonna find that. So they meet Monito, Granola introduces them, and Monito will talk to Goku. So he does realize that Granola is not angry. And Granola is able to explain that he learned the truth about the heaters and got somewhat his revenge. Now that, Monito offers to go over the history of Granola and the Saiyans, and Granola hasn't even heard all of it, so Granola's is pretty interested in this as well. So hear about Bardock saving Granola from other Saiyans and the heaters. And Granola asks why his mother died then, and Monito reveals the heaters killed her. So yeah. Now Granola's pretty upset, but Goku asks who Bardock is, as Monito then explains. With the time and how you could go to Granola's age, I'd assume your father. So Goku asks if they have Dragon Mode or something, and Piccolo explains that they do can sense it. He points out where it is, Monito grabs it, and then Dragon Balls actually make, they can't make Bardock appear because he's dead and doesn't have a vessel to survive in. They're able to make, kind of just give the whole incident of Granola, make everyone get the memories of the incident with Granola, his mother and everything. Everyone gets the memories of what happened to Planet Cereal. See those memories, Goku, he will see Bardock. He knows that Bardock's a very kind man. He's very happy with this, and smiles, saying, well, me and my dad look a lot alike. Gohan says, my grandpa's a badass. Goku flipped Gohan on the mouth, saying, don't ever say that. I'm probably going to actually tell your mom if I don't punish you for it, I'm the one gonna end up getting punished. Gohan holds his cheek, or his lip, saying, alright, whatever. But now, they get the memories, and Goku actually offers Granola and Monito a position. Move to Earth or Namek. Now, Granola and Monito don't really want either of those, but Goku does explain that, Namek has a new guru, as Piccolo explains the whole situation with him and Guru. And with that, Monito just said, so you want me to become Guru? So Goku saying, oh yeah, Vegeta, is Dende's on the ship? Vegeta says, no, he's on the ship, but he's asleep. And Goku said, Earth needs a new god. Our current one's kind of getting old, and we might have him fuse into our friend over there, green one, Piccolo. So we need a new god, and we can already tell that you're younger than him by a lot. So you can probably be our current god and train Dende up to be our new god. With that, Monito agrees and asks Granola if he'd like to come. Granola explains that he doesn't really want to. He makes a lot of good money. Goku explains he can make honest work on Earth. It doesn't involve him around being surrounded by insane violence, but also he could have a position working on the smartest woman on Earth. That he accepts that offer, and they fly down onto Earth. And Goku explains with all the new friends they've had, they need to have them living situations more controlled, and they don't need to go into intergalactic space battles. Plus, they put a pretty big dent in Frieza's forces, so he needs some recovery time and go into hiding. So yeah, Now fast forward a few years to the point where they meet future Trunks. Now that Granola was working at Capital Corp as Bulma's assistant, Vegeta and Bulma are living together, their boyfriend and girlfriend. Goku had actually met Goten for the first time as Bulma did, not Bulma. Chi-Chi gave birth to Goten. And yeah. Now, with this, they meet Trunks. Trunks realizes there's no incident here at all. This is a fly around to look for them. When you're at the Capsule Corp, realizes that, well, there's a certain man working there that he's never met before. He's going to worry this might be a different timeline, and then maybe his father. You'll see Vegeta in the backyard working out, with Bulma watching it. When he arrives, Vegeta's immediately on guard and powers up to Super Saiyan. At this point, Vegeta is like, Goku's like 24 and a half. So, I believe at this time he'd be like originally he'd be like probably like 26 maybe. So, yeah, he's like 26 and a half. So it's been like 26, 27 maybe. This one's been like around the same amount of time. Look at that. So, not Granola, I mean. But Trunks will talk to Vegeta and everything. And everyone else is called over. They arrive, they get the same conversation. Except just Cooler and Frieza aren't there. Not Cooler. King Cold and Frieza aren't there. And yeah. So, yeah. Now they're notified the androids. Goku gets a heart virus. And now we go to the beginning of the Android Saga. After 3 years. After those 3 years, Granola's power level had reached level of base Super Saiyan, not base Super Saiyan, but of Super Saiyan Goku. And then Vegeta, he'd already really strong himself. Goku already powered up Super Saiyan 2 before, and he already knows how to use it. Nappa's a Super Saiyan, going to Super Saiyan Goten. He's learning martial arts from Ox King and Chi-Chi. Monaito training up Dende to become new Kami. Kami is absorbing the Piccolo, and Piccolo basically just kind of like he trains up Monaito and Dende in his own way, and powered up Dragon Balls and the whole Kami's lookout himself, because he's given equal power as a Kami, and he's just as a second god of Earth, like the co-god. So he's able to have the same abilities as Kami. It's just, well, he can't invent things like Dragon Balls. He can just probably enhance power or add rule. That's really it. You can't like make them or anything. So yeah, I'm like, yes, some of the same stuff. It just doesn't have as much freedom with it. So yeah, Kami's lookout was actually just a gigantic, like something bigger than original. He upgraded to a Corn's Tower to be a better living space, and is able to find some new food for Yajirobe to eat besides senzu beans. Or made pseudo senzu beans for Yajirobe to eat. They don't give him as much of a power boost, and more senzu beans for corn to grow. So yeah, also, he makes a secret stash of senzu beans on Kami's lookout. Pause real quick. So yeah, I'm going to go over the power scaling, I guess. So, strongest being Goku, who has Super Saiyan 2, so is Gohan, but Gohan isn't as strong in it. Plus Gohan mainly trains with King Kai alongside the humans, because King Kai is kind of bored. And Piccolo, using his pretty much godly power, is able to, I guess, expand King Kai's planet a bit to make it bigger. And King Kai gets new animals and some strong guests that are not in hell. And Goku does this to make an exception for Raditz. So yeah, Raditz is one of the people on King Kai's planet. Raditz is notified that everything's going on and is able to kind of come to peace that, well, no matter what, he's not any stronger than any of them. But he doesn't need to just learn to have a bigger heart. The strongest being Goku, back to that. So Goku being the strongest, Pavel being, let's say, in base form. Let's say it's 1 billion in base form. Not 1 billion, say 500 million in base form. 500 billion in base. And Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan 2, he has those. So, you do math for that. Alright, so Goku has a boost in power with Super Saiyan. It's with power of 500 million in base, but they would delete his power level jumping up to, I believe that would be 20 billion, maybe? 20 billion? 20 billion, I think. No, 20 billion. Then, times 100, once it goes to Super Saiyan 2, 50 billion. Then, we have Vegeta behind him with Super Saiyan only. Vegeta's power level is going to be 400 billion, power level jumping up to 20 billion at max. Behind him, being Gohan, who's Super Saiyan 1 and 2. Gohan's power level is going to be 100 billion exactly. No, let's say 20 billion. Not 20 billion, 100 million. So, Gohan's power level, powering up, would be 4 billion times 50, I believe. No. It'd be 1 billion and times 100 would be 20 billion. Then behind him would be Piccolo, who can actually have a Super Saiyan-like boost when he powers up. His power will kind of equal to Gohan, but 60 times boost. That's really it. Piccolo being, I think it'd be, let's say it's like equal to Super Saiyan Gohan. Let's say that. And then behind him we have Nappa at 90 million. And Nappa's power doesn't matter at all. All we know is that every single person there is planetary level. But Broly, and it's only notable one has Granola. So Broly, his power level is able, plus he has Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. I forgot to mention that. Well, Broly's like a Berserker Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. But Broly, at Super Saiyan 1, and he already surpasses Goku in every single stage, but still has very, very little control over it. Then, once he goes past Super Saiyan 1, without any control, goes Super Saiyan 2 by default. Where that power is threatening every single person on Earth. Now, when androids attack. So, Yamcha still finds Dr. Gero first, and him and Gero fight. Yamcha isn't killed, but he does have a very large slash across his chest. Then Krillin and Tien interfere, and push Gero back. Then 19 fighting them, and Tien's able to use his power in his eyes. That was restored with Dragon Balls. And so it's like somewhat mind control, mind reading, and then he can create more clones. So yeah, and with that they use a ton of mind control and clone. On the clone, I mean on the robot. And with that, they're able to charge a key in their eyes, in their eye, and able to shoot it into the robot and blow it up. Dro, seeing he's outmatched, he flies off in a rush and gets to his base. When he gets there, he does see Goku waiting for him. He's able to avoid him by kind of shooting him as his heart virus had struck. But then he takes medicine as he brought it with him, and after a few minutes of laying on the ground, he gets back up, feeling better. But as soon as he gets back up, the doors fly off with Dr. Dro's head rolling out, and Goku would see Android 13, Android 16, 17, 18, and 21. Evil 21, say that. Yeah, so they're there, and they're kind of ready for a fight. Goku kind of just recovering, just being a little tired now. He's kind of off guard as he's been fighting 17 first. Is physically overwhelmed 17 pretty easily, and has a lot more ki than him, despite 17 having basically limitless ki. But Goku's reserved the ki, he may as well have infinite. Him and 17 being fighting, and it seems kind of equal because he is still tired out and was still caught off guard. Uzi fighters arrive, begin fighting him, not fighting Goku, but fighting other androids. But 13 provides a bigger problem for everyone, until Broly intervenes and goes to his Okari Wrath form. It means he's kind of just wrestling with him. Eventually, he kind of starting to just crush 13's arms like cans. Not 17, crushing 13's arms like cans. And it says 13's at max power. With that, Broly roars, his eyes turn green, or kind of like emit a green glow. Oh, and Broly, his body gets a lot more muscular. He can spin, throwing 13 in the air and through the galaxy. Going through the galaxy off Earth's atmosphere. Broly throws one giant ki blast or erasure cannon at him, and it blows 17 to atoms. Now 16 and Broly begin fighting. 16 is a lot stronger than 13. I don't know if it's canon, but it is here. 16 and Broly begin fighting, and it seems equal, even with Akari. But eventually Broly is able to outmatch him in martial arts, and it doesn't really help much. Because Broly gets shot through the chest with a ki blast. And Paragus would go to his Great 8 form about throwing a pseudo moon and begin fighting 16, which still isn't pretty good. Still Gohan will go Super Saiyan 2 and begin fighting him and obliterate. Now eventually they fight for 2 days straight, as no one would leave Gero's base. After these 2 days, Goku was panting, tired, covered in sweat and blood. 17 was missing an arm and was pretty badly burnt by Goku's ki blast. 16 had fought Vegeta, and Vegeta was able to punch a pretty decent sized hole in her gut, but due to her not really being fully human, she was able to push through it a lot, but still pretty tired out and almost dead. But Vegeta had both his arms broken, and 17 was able to fire a ki blast right through his side. So yeah, Vegeta's not in good shape as well as him and 18 are on the verge of death. 21 was able to fight Broly once he recovered again, and 16 had to fight Super Saiyan 2 Gohan for those days straight. Gohan, I believe he's like 11 here, so he's a little bit bigger, but yeah. Hit 16, range of the power out, and they're kind of done. So yeah. Eventually, the first one recovered, actually being Goku. See, it has Zenkai boost happen a lot earlier, plus Heart Rider's already striking, having Zenkai boost in the process. But Zenkai boost is fully processed. This Powerball now smashes every single inch of Broly's power. And with that, the androids who don't really get tired, they were just kind of pretty badly injured, that's really it. Plus the robots, being 16, 21, I think, only. They powered up to their max form, and they rushed at Goku. Goku had yelled, running Super Saiyan 2, and begins pushing around every single one of them. Eventually, the Saiyans get back up, having their ki restored and having Zenkais, and then fighting as well. The androids are being obliterated and pushed back, and Trunks arrives. When he arrives, he sees the city potentially intact, except for a portion of it being rebuilt, but does feel his ki clashing everywhere. He arrives there, seeing the battle happening, and the Saiyans are obliterating the androids. After he had seen that Goku's power was rising and rising, suddenly Trunks is smacked down to the ground, right on top of 17, who Goku was fighting. Everyone's a little questioning what Trunks is doing while he's interrupting the fight, until he realized that Trunks was smacked, because he has a very large gash across his back that seemed like he was scratched. They look up, and suddenly Goku's punched right in the gut, and sending a hole punch through him. He's come down on the ground, coughs up blood, and throws up a lot of it too. Saiyans are eventually all knocked out by Cell, and Cell then beating up Trunks. With that, Goku gets back up, running up to his max, saying, "Alright then, my Zenkai boost, I was pushing all my limits. Now I'll go beyond." He had yelled as he didn't find a name for this form yet, but he had called it limit-breaking Super Saiyan. He does that, the electricity around him begins growing in larger strides, even electrocuting Cell somewhat. Cell began absorbing Android 17 and 18 immediately, and once he absorbed them, he was in his perfect form, but still being electrocuted. I think Goku's hair began growing, and this is Goku says, I guess I can just call it Super Saiyan 3. Then roars as he's down in full complete Super Saiyan 3. Goku and Cell begin fighting, and Goku's ki rising, plus having the ability to heal from Yardrat, that kicks in, and he's at full power. Piccolo was able to heal up a bit by actually fusing. Well, first off, he had left, just saying he had a plan. He had fused with Minato and Dende, and he did promise to release them once he was done, which he is going to do. Yeah, so he arrived again, fighting alongside Goku. As Goku healing was a little slow, but so Piccolo healed him, and healed every single Z fighter, even restoring their ki. So yeah, so with that, as the fight goes on, Cell's being pushed and pushed. 21's even absorbed, enhancing his power a lot. In the fight is now kind of equal. Saiyans and Z fighters with full power, plus Zenkais involved with the Saiyans, and a bit of legendary Super Saiyan. Eventually, as the fight concluded, it was just them all on the ground, tired out. And Cell then says, in 10 days, he challenges them to an event, the Cell Games. He says the winner will get to just choose their reign over Earth. Cell announces that to the world, and everyone believes it because he blew up a good portion of a country. He was holding back a lot. Now they're being set up, every cameras were there and everything, and everyone was in the hyperbolic time chamber at once. All the food was there, and everything. But yeah. Zhao walked out after those 10 days. That was the equivalent of 10 years. And the Dragon Ball's in there. And Dragon Balls can grant 3 wishes. They spent it the point with the Saiyans like they're going to die from hunger. That's when they actually got food from Dragon Balls. Piccolo like thought he was going to die from not having any water. Well, first off, she kind of separated Monito from his body and Dende. But before you're at the time chamber, yeah. Now, that's when the Dragon Balls, when they're bare, that's when they feel like they're going to die. That's when they used it. But yeah, so when they come out, Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku could all use Super Saiyan 3. Nappa could go Super Saiyan 2. And yeah. Then Piccolo, he's able to somewhat kind of transform into he also form from the devilish Namekian. That's where he taps into his evil ki, or his evil side of ki. Or no, his evil half. Taps into that. And that's where he's running just his the things in his head. They kind of just spike up a lot. Let me pause real quick. So the antenna on Piccolo's head is going to spike up into horns. And Piccolo's body kind of gets a more darkish tint. and he's able to create his own dark assaults that obey him and Z fighters. With that, he's ready for his fight, and they arrive at the Cell games. They don't arrive there. Well, Piccolo's the only one that arrives transformed because most power lasts for a very long time. It can go on in days like this. When they arrive, Cell games begins. Satan doesn't believe any of them are real fighters because they're just like buff guys. That's really it. But now the first fight actually being Goku versus Mr. Satan. At 9%. Goku versus Cell first. That's the first fight. As we're fighting, Satan realizes that these are true martial artists. There's Goku showing off a multitude of different martial arts. He shows off like 10 of them at once. Cell's able to match the same martial arts, but Goku's still being a little bit faster. And Cell at times is able to just fix with the weaknesses. But eventually, Cell's sheer brute strength, surpassing Goku even, is able to knock out Goku. Satan's up next, and he's defeated with a single poke to the chest, and instead of flying to a rock. But now everyone else begins fighting, and eventually Cell says, "You guys are all holding back. I'm going to restart this," and Goku start off at full power. Goku eats the Senzu Bean. He's like, Krillin, how much do we have? Krillin says, we have 40 Senzus. Goku says, oh, we have a lot. Goku would say, well, there's enough for us, I believe, to last at least 4 rounds, right? And said, yeah, around that. Probably even a little bit farther if some of us hold back our strength, and Cell does as well. Or if some of us use our healing abilities. Goku nodded, saying, alright then. Goku gets into his like Saiyan martial arts stance and goes Super Saiyan 3. As Super Saiyan 3, Cell would go to Broly's legendary Super Saiyan 2, and then power up to his max form alongside that, using his bit of rage boost. Goku and him begin fighting as Goku begins muscling his body, and he roars in rage and just the desperation. He is overpowering muscling out Cell, till Cell begins kind of doing the same thing. Goku had smirked, as he's kind of just gives the illusion to throw up. Cell says, oh, what? Is this so much strain on your body? He doesn't go on and said, no, it's not. Cell immediately froze, wasn't what's going to happen, as he tried to turn back, but suddenly Goku had roared out with a giant ki blast from his mouth, and blew a good portion of Cell's body apart. For that, Goku had grabbed Cell, climbed on the ground, and Goku held up a giant ki blast, saying, Spirit Bomb. As he does this, everyone begins donating their ki to it, or their energy, and eventually Gohan would rush up and kick Cell in the air, and everyone getting their own piece of Cell, as he's taking time to regenerate. As he didn't have access to the healing abilities, forgetting they had them. But after everyone has been using the illusion to full power on Cell, who's just trying to recover, Goku's Spirit Bomb has max power, and it's bigger than Earth, on double the size. That he shoots it right at Cell. Cell had fully recovered, trying to block it off, but Cell began getting absorbed into it. As he does, his fingers were disintegrating, his hands were as well, his arms, everything. With that, Goku began using a technique he had kind of learned from Namek, but he altered it. Spirit Fission, where he separates ki from certain things to ruin transformations. With this one, he did it differently. He put his hands into the Spirit Bomb, using ki to just enhance his body. Before it's disintegrated, he was able to channel ki into it. He's using Super Saiyan 3 still. And channeling Super Saiyan ki into this, into all of his energy. By the time all this channeled into it, he fell to the ground, unconscious, and the Spirit Bomb was now quadruple the normal size, as it barely scraping the edge of the arena. But now, you can see it from space. Well, you can already see it from space, but now it's kind of obvious. It looks like the miniature sun. But yeah, eventually, Cell absorbed into it and killed, then it disperses. The ki that Goku channeled into it shot back into his body, waking him up, and getting him a little bit stronger. He stands back up, saying, oh wow, is he dead? We're not saying, wow, what kind of attack was that? Well, the humans that know what it was, well, everyone can know what it is except for Nappa. Nappa, that's what it was, and everyone says, Spirit Bomb. Goku and Vegeta fist bump, as Vegeta says, wasn't that Spirit Fission, but kind of reversed? Goku would nod, saying, yup. Now, fast forward a few years to the Buu arc. At the time, Gohan became a scholar, Goten being a few years younger, is actually in middle school now, and Goten is already Super Saiyan. Trunks had been born around 1 year after Gohan. No, Gohan, 1 year after Goten. So, yeah. they're both in middle school. Remember how old Gohan's supposed to be? Like when Gohan was 6. No, when Gohan was 5. No, when he was 6. When he was 6, Chi-Chi was pregnant with Goten. So that makes Goten 6 years younger than Gohan, and Gohan at this point is like 18. So he's like 12 at this point. So Gohan's 12. Goten's 12. Trunks is 11. So never mind, they're not in middle school. They're in elementary school. But Trunks and Goten are both Super Saiyans, but Trunks is a Super Saiyan 1, Goten Super Saiyan 2 and 1. Goku, well, basically every Saiyan there except for Nappa and the 2 little kids, they're Super Saiyan 3. But they all pursue careers that are different. Plus, Goku kind of became friends with Mr. Satan after the whole Cell games, and Goku got world fame for making a miniature sun. So yeah. And he has a lot of money. Goku has like kind of quadruple the original amount of money than Mr. Satan. So yeah, he has intergalactic fame even. And Frieza isn't getting power up. He's to the point where he's not conquering planets anymore, and he teamed up with Heaters. So yeah. But Granola is basically a world-renowned scientist. Krillin, Roshi, and Tien, they're now martial arts teachers. They kind of own their own dojo and everything in the mountains. It's pretty big. Then Yamcha's a world-renowned baseball player. Nappa became a wrestler, but he also hold back a lot, even use one hand only. And then Broly's a boxer who has to hold back a lot too, but I'm kidding. Broly can't be a boxer. He's gonna punch a hole through your chest using 2% of his power. So Broly more or less kind of just is Bulma's associate, just to study human body, not human body, but study people's bodies, just to enhance them and everything. Well, mainly so Bulma can learn more about Saiyans to make sure that they don't hurt themselves in battle. Goku kind of just sits back in life. Gohan has a part-time job as a Saiyaman. Everyone does know he's that kid from the Cell games, and he doesn't really wear a mask. He just has his glasses on and a Saiyaman outfit. That's really it. And he defeats villains all left and right. But now everyone, even the humans, their power is kind of equal to a semi-perfect Cell. Well, the humans are like kind of base form. Well, full power, they're semi-perfect Cell. Piccolo currently outmatches Cell in every single way. Same with the Saiyans, except for Nappa and Goten and Trunks. Yeah, so at this point, for those guys wondering about Raditz on King Kai's planet, Raditz kind of like King Kai's apprentice, and King Kai and Raditz get along pretty well. But now with Gohan and Videl, they were already dating before they were 15. So Videl already learned how to fly, learned how to shoot ki blasts and everything. But now when Gohan is 18, he already has Videl pregnant, and Videl's already pregnant. And Goku already told Gohan not to make the same mistake he did. Don't have kids too early. And Gohan did just that. So, but yeah. Now with Popovich and Yamu, Videl still enrolls in the tournament, and she says that she can kick anyone's ass that she wants. So when Popovich is her opponent, she usually kicks him right in the chin full force, and seems to be he wasn't even able to see it, and just knocked him out easily. That kind of just made him fall over unconscious. Made him fall over unconscious, Popovich down for the count. Then Yamu immediately tries to rush in, but Gohan puts his fist through the wall, preventing Yamu from moving through. And Gohan flexes his power and his ki, which actually, as soon as Yamu realizes it, tries to step Gohan with a thing, and Kai's try to hold Gohan in place using like God Bind. But Gohan's body and ki and everything is so immense. Yamu is just on the ground in fear, and the Kais can't hold him at all. As soon as Goku realizes what's going on, he throws the Kais into walls, asking who the hell they are. And Kibito tries to punch Goku in the face, but when the punch lands, Goku headbutts him through the wall and knocks him out. But I'm in this part here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment for another part. Goodbye.